Good noon to everybody. Here is a teacher, Bhagban Prasad from Government UP School Transvaal, Rajgangpur. First of all, I welcome to all the students of class 6 to this virtual class. Today, I am going to teach the foolish son-in-law in class 6. Students, do you know there are 15 lakhs of kinds of living organisms in your earth. Human being is one of them. He is a rational animal and he is considered to be the wisest creature in the world. But sometimes he behaves in such a manner that it creates very ridiculous things. Here is a video. You see the video and पहले पिलाने केमिति लागेला करपटे आ सेही केबे कोन बिरेडी केबे खाए तेनु सेठी तार अवस्था कोन हिदिबो now we come to another topic, foolish son-in-law, which is in the report. Students, reading is a very important part. Now I read the lesson. You read, you listen it, and practice in the everyone. A son-in-law after his marriage was planning to visit his father-in-law's house for the first time. A man from his village gave him the advice: use big and high-sounding words in your father-in-law's house. Always sit on a high place. First say no to any food given to you. He therefore used very long and high-sounding words. He told his mother-in-law, "You are the sweetest, kindest, greatest, and gentlest lady." The mother-in-law was very much pleased to hear this. He praised her son-in-law in front of his neighbors for using high-sounding words and calling her the kindest and sweetest lady. Following strictly the second advice, the son-in-law did not sit on a chair. He preferred to sit over petty sacks piled high. Similarly, when any food was given to him, he said no. One night, his mother-in-law prepared delicious rice pudding for him. When he was served this, he said no. Therefore, he was not given rice pudding, but 2 or 3 rice pudding fell on his plate. When he tasted it, he wanted to have more of it. Thinking it would be impolite, he did not ask for it, but he wanted somehow to eat the rice pudding. He carefully watched his mother-in-law. He put the rice pudding on a pot and placed it on a seat-cart, a high place. At the dead night, he tried to get the pudding from the pot, but unfortunately, it fell on his head. His whole body smeared with rice pudding like gob. What to do now? He thought to himself. He saw hastily plucked cotton spread on a mat to dry. He spat on it and turned 2 or 3 times left and right. Then he looked like a lamb. What to do now? He thought to himself, so he went to the cow shed where some lambs lived. They stayed there throughout night like a lamb. In the morning, the in-laws searched for their son-in-law and found him in the cow shed. Everyone except the mother-in-law thought him to be foolish. But the mother-in-law so pleaded, "My son-in-law is as simple, as innocent as a lamb." This made the father-in-law very angry. He was also very angry for other reasons. His wife took too much care of her foolish son-in-law. He gave him good food but neglected her servant. The son-in-law, living comfort, was not willing to go home. The father-in-law therefore planned how to drive him out. They had a lemon plant full of green lemons. One day he said to his son-in-law, "Kind son, you have seen our lemon tree. The lemons are stolen by thieves at night. I will be happy if you can watch the plant tonight and catch the thief." He also gave his son-in-law a clock. In the darkness of night, the son-in-law was waiting for the thieves to come. The mother-in-law wished to take water, rice, and asked his wife to bring a fresh lemon from lemon plant. But when the mother-in-law was plucking a lemon, the son-in-law passed her with a club, thinking her to be a thief. Coming to know that he had beaten his mother-in-law, he felt so ashamed that he left for his home that night itself. The father-in-law gave a great sigh of relief. Students, I read the lesson. मैं एटा घरे practice करियो. Now I am going to explain only SCB1 and SCB2. मु केवल तुमको SCB1 और SCB2 रे तुमको बुझू. SCB1, SCB2 रे कोन? A son-in-law after his marriage was planning to visit his father-in-law's house for the first time. A son-in-law. What is son-in-law? Son-in-law माने कोना? Son-in-law, the husband of one's daughter. अर्थात दुई. ओडिया में दुई बोली कहू. The husband of one's daughter. A son-in-law after his marriage was planning to visit his father-in-law's house for the first time. That means a son-in-law one day wanted to go to his father-in-law's house, and it was first time to visit his father-in-law. माने प्रथम थर करी से तार ससुर घर को जाऊ. A man from his village gave him the advice: use big and high sounding words in your father-in-law's house. As it was his first time to visit his father-in-law, he wanted to give some advice from a man from his village. जेटा प्रथम थर पाई जाउची से चाहिला गोटे ताकर घर बाखरु का बाखरु के एडवाइस नबो हाउ टू मेंटेन हिमसेल्फ इन father-in-law's house. निजबो ससुर रे किपर मेंटेन करबो से जानिया पई ता जनकर एडवाइस नेला. A man from his village gave him advice: use big and high sounding words in your father-in-law's house. That man advised him, praised everybody, praised father-in-law, praised mother-in-law using a high sounding word. That means he praised his father-in-law and mother-in-law and everybody in his father-in-law's house. से तांकर ससुर रे समस्त प्रशंसा करियबु से भलो वर्ड दे प्रशंसा करियबु से तार होइतला. And second advice: use big and high sounding words in father-in-law's house. Always sit in a high place. And he gave the second advice: always sit on a high place. उच्चा जगह बसिबो. Always sit on a high place. And third advice: first say no to any food given to you. And according to the third advice, that means that man gave him three advice. लोगों ने तो तीन ही advice दी. First advice: to praise everybody in his father-in-law and mother-in-law in father-in-law's house. And second advice: use a big house-sounding word. That means praise everybody. Third, always sit in a high place. गोटे बड़ उच्चा स्थान बस advice देला. And last of all, in the third advice, first no to give any food. जतरा कहीं प्रथम खाद्य देले प्रथम कर ना. That was the father-in-law. What is father-in-law? Father-in-law means father of one's husband and wife. Their ससुर. Marriage. What do you mean by marriage? Marriage अर्थ कौन? A wedding ceremony. लेकिन देखो, this is the marriage party. How to do marriage? Marriage अर्थ wedding ceremony, विवाह. And SGB2, it therefore used very long and high sounding words. He told his mother-in-law, "You are the sweetest, kindest, greatest, and gentlest lady. He therefore used very high, very long and high sounding words. That means he went to his father-in-law's house and there he praised everybody by using high sounding words. ସେ ତା ଶ୍ୱଶୁରକୁ ଯାଇଛି ଏବଂ କଲା ଏବଂ ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କୁ ଭଲ ସ୍ୱରରେ ଆଉ ହାଇ ସାଉଣ୍ଡିଂ ୱାର୍ଡରେ ପ୍ରଶଂସା କଲା. He told his mother-in-law, "You are the sweetest, kindest, greatest, and gentlest lady." He told his mother-in-law. That means he praised his mother-in-law by saying that you are the sweetest, kindest, and the greatest lady. তার শাশু কোন কলা, তুমি হচ্ছে sweetest lady, you are the sweetest lady, you are the greatest lady, and you are the gentlest lady. The mother-in-law was very much pleased to hear this. When the son-in-law praised the mother-in-law by using the high sounding word, saying that she is the greatest, kindest, and gentlest lady, then mother-in-law was very much pleased to hear this. He praised his son-in-law in front of his neighbor for using high sounding words, calling her kindest and sweetest. Then mother-in-law told everybody it is a neighbor. Told every neighbor about his son-in-law. Our son-in-law ଭିତରେ ସବୁ କହିଲା. Neighbor, what do you mean by neighbor? Neighbor means a person that is near or next to another. Neighbor অর্থ হলো পড়োশী. A person or thing that is near or next to another. Following strictly the second advice, the son-in-law did not sit on a chair. He preferred to sit over petty sacks piled high. Following strictly the second advice, the son-in-law did not sit on a chair. That means the second advice, according to second advice, the man gave him the second advice that he should sit in a high place. So according to second advice, the son-in-law did not sit on a chair. He preferred to sit over a high paddy sack piled high. High paddy sacks he preferred to sit. What do you mean by prefer? What do you mean by prefer? Prefer means to like something better. Like something, মানে পছন্দ করিবা. He preferred to sit over paddy sacks. Paddy sacks. What do you mean by paddy sacks? A bag, especially for holding grains or objects in box. That means paddy sacks. A bag, especially for holding grain objects in box or bag. That means ଯୋଉଠାରେ ଯୋଉ ଅଖାବସ୍ଥାରେ ଆମର paddy sacks ରଖାଯାଏ, ଶସ୍ୟ ରଖାଯାଏ. Paddy sacks piled high. What do you mean piled high? Piled. The paddy sacks piled. This is the paddy sacks piled high. Piled. That means বস্তা গদা ହେଇକରିବା. Piled high. Piled high. Yeah. That means he did not sit on a chair. The chair ବସିଲା ନାହିଁ. He preferred to sit over the paddy sacks which is piled high. Similarly, when any food was given to him, he said no. Oh no. That means what was his third advice? The third advice was say no at first when you are given any food. That means ଖାଇବାକୁ ଦିଆଯିବ ପ୍ରଥମେ no ବୋଲି କହିବ. And according to the last advice or third advice, he said no when his mother-in-law prepared a delicious rice pudding. Prepared a delicious. What do you mean delicious? Delicious means having a very pleasant taste or smell. Having a very pleasant taste or smell. That means sushwadu. Yes, that means one night mother-in-law prepared delicious rice pudding. Rice pudding. What do you mean by rice pudding? Rice pudding means a sweet food made of rice cooked with milk and sugar. A sweet food made of rice cooked with milk and sugar. অর্থাৎ খিরি, rice pudding. That means one night his mother-in-law prepared a delicious rice pudding. But according to third advice, when you are served the rice pudding, he said that no. or 2 or 3 rice pudding fell on his plate. But at that time, then when he was served this, he said no. Therefore, he was not given rice pudding. As he said that no, that he was not served rice pudding. Therefore, khiri diya gala nahi. But 1 or 2 rice pudding fell on his plate. He saw that 1 or 2 drops of rice pudding fell in his plate. The plate rest into a rice pudding padi jayଥିଲା. When he tasted it, he wanted to have more of it. When he tasted it, taste. What do you mean by taste? Taste means to have a particular flavor. To have a particular flavor. That means taste. Khadu janiba. Khadu. When he tasted, he wanted to have more of it. That means he said no. When he was served the first time, but 1 or 2 or 3 drops which are falling on the plate, he tasted it and knew that it was very tasty. Thinking that it would be impolite, he did not ask for it. Though it was tasty, he did not ask for it because he thought that it was impolite for him to ask for rice pudding. The rice pudding impolite will manakala. He did not ask for it, but he wanted to somehow to eat the rice pudding. He wanted to eat somehow the rice pudding. Jebitele se rice pudding khai ichha korti, but did not ask for it as it was impolite for him. He carefully watched impolite. He did. What do you mean impolite? Rude, not polite. The polite means. He did not for it, but wanted somehow eat the rice pudding. He carefully watched his mother-in-law. He carefully, what do you mean by carefully? Showing close attention or detail. Showing close attention or detail. He carefully watched his mother-in-law. That means he saw his mother-in-law carefully. He put the rice pudding. He watched his carefully watched. Watch means look somebody or something at a time. He watched that his mother-in-law. He saw that he put the rice pudding in a pot and placed it on a sikka. Placed it in a sikka. What do you mean a sikka? Put something to a opposite with his hands. Sikka. ओडिया रे आमे सिक्का देखा तो झुले की रखती कौन सी जिन सब सिक्का रखती that is sikka or in a high place. He saw that his mother-in-law kept the rice pudding on a pot and placed it on a sikka on a high place. Present this was the first and second standard. First and second SDB1 and SDB2. And what do we know about the SDB1 and SDB2? That means what is the summary of SDB1 and SDB2. That means once upon a time a son-in-law had a plan to visit his father-in-law's house after his marriage. As it was the first time, he took some advice from a man how to maintain them. A man advised him to praise the father-in-law or mother-in-law by using high word. Always sit in a high place. Second advice. And the third advice, first say no to use it to any food given to him. According to the first advice, the man praised his mother-in-law by saying that he is the sweetest, kindest, and gentlest. Then his mother-in-law was very much pleased on him. Following the second advice, according to the second advice, the man sat over the ready set by her instead of sitting in a chair. Then, according to the third advice, the man said, no, when he was third rice, delicious rice pudding by his mother-in-law. But when he tasted the rice pudding, he saw that it is very tasty. Then he wants to take it. That means he tasted the rice pudding which was falling 2 or 3 drops on his plate. So he wanted to have more of it, but did not ask for it because he thought that it was impolite for him to ask for the rice pudding. As it was impolite for rice pudding, but he noticed that his mother-in-law put the rice pudding on a pot and placed in a ଏଇଟି ପର୍ଯ୍ୟନ୍ତ ଆମର ହଉଛି ଫାର୍ଷ୍ଟ ଆଉ ସେକେଣ୍ଡ ଏକ୍ଟିଭିଟି ଯୋଉଟା କି ମୁଁ ତୁମମାନଙ୍କୁ ବୁଝେଇଲି। Then students, I come to some grammar which is in your course, which is in this SG1 and SG2. ଆମର ୟା ଭିତରେ କେତେଟା ଗ୍ରାମାର ଅଛି ଯାହାକି ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ମୁଁ କଣ କରୁଛି SG1 ଆଉ SG2 ରେ ଗ୍ରାମାର ପିଲାମାନେ you see there are some words, that means spelling, that means that two words different spelling, different meaning but pronounced the same. That means a word is pronounced the same as another. One word only word is the pronunciation same, uttara same, but the spelling is different and meaning is different. That is called the homophone. Every duty word kuhanti homophone boli kuhanti. For example, in your subject there is a word seat and sit. Seat. These are two words. Now these two words, seat and sit. SIT sit, SEAT sit. These two words pronunciation is the same. But each other different meaning. SIT sit means to put somebody in a sitting position or make somebody sitting down. And bachiba. But SEAT sit, that means something that you sit on. ये sit अर्थ कौन? देखिए तुम्हें जहाँ पर action. These two words pronunciation is the same, but spelling different and meaning different. This is called the homophone word. Similarly, another word HEAR here, HERE here. These are the two different words, pronunciation same. HEAR here, that means to receive sounds with your ear. Another is suniga. But HERE in, at, or to the place where you are or which you are pointing to. And constant stand here mane eଠାରେ. HEAR here mane suniba, HERE here mane eଠାରେ. These two words pronunciation is same but meaning different, spelling different. These are called the homophone. Similarly, test, TASTE test, that means you have a particular flavor. TASTE test, that you have a particular flavor. TEST test, a short exam to measure somebody's knowledge or skill. TEST test means स्वादता थिबा, you have a particular flavor. TEST test, a परीक्षा देबा, a short exam to measure somebody's knowledge or skill. These are the words which is in your books, in your subject. Similarly, some other examples are of homophone. Cast. TST cast means throw. To throw a fishing line or net into the water. Mane kono? Jala fopadiba. Next is caste. Class or system of dividing society into caste. Caste. Birth. BIRT is birth. Being born. BERT is birth. A place for sleeping on a ship or train. This is the birth. These two words are the pronunciation same and but the different meaning and spelling. Age, days. DAYS days. A period of 24 hours. dead, dinner. D-A-Z-E, dead, make unable to think, react. Make make unable to think, react. जोटाकि आमको रियाक्ट करि पारना आम भाबी पारना that is the dead. These are the homophone words. Similarly, there are some words, one or two words, spelled alike for different meaning. Spelled alike, that means spelling same, pronunciation also same. The spelling same, pronunciation same, but meaning is different. That is called the homograph. Students, you see that homophone, pronunciation same, but homograph, pronunciation, spelling same. Homophone, spelling different, meaning different. Homograph, spelling same but meaning different. That is the homograph. माने कौन थी दुईटी वर्ड एक प्रकार स्पेलिंग थिबो किंतु सेमानकर माने अर्थटा भिन्न थिबो. That is the called homograph. That means kind. These two words are the spelling same. Kind. Spelling same. But the kind, one of the kind is the meaning of the kind is different from other. Suppose a kind, a group whose members all have qualities. Similar word, sort or type. Prakara. That's some kind. Prakara that. But here kind, caring about others. Friendly or generous. That means doya. Kind. Similarly, please. One of the meaning of the please is a happy or satisfied about or something. Please. Then please. Either is polite of asking for something or telling somebody to do something. Doya kari. Please. Similarly, watch. W-A-T-C-H, watch. Watch means to look at somebody or something for a time. Lakhya kariga. W-A-T-C-H, watch. A type of some clock, small clock that we usually wear around our wrist. Watch. These words are the spelling same, spelling alike, but different meaning, and these are called the homograph. And these words are in your subject. But I give some of the other homographs or examples of other homographs. Beer. Beer means endure. Arthat sahiba. Beer means sahiba. But here beer, an animal. Bhalu. Beer. Close. These are the homograph words. Their close means connected. Samprukta. Close. Their close, lock or shut. Then close the door. Bond kariya. Close. Their close is connected. That means samprukta or samprukta. Their close is in lock or shut. That means bond kariya. Close the door. Lean. Lean means thin. Patala. But here lean, rest against. Lean means rest against. Aram kariya. Lean. Bow means bend forward. Bow means front a seat. Jahaja বা ডঙ্গার আগপট bow বলে মধ্যে কুহা যায়. Lead and lead metal, one kind of metal, lead, and a lead sort of in front. Lead kariba age jiba. That is the some homographs. Then in a topic they are the negative prefix. What is negative prefix? Negative prefix means a negative prefix which carries a negative meaning, not or opposite of. Negative prefix is not अर्थ जोड़ा व्यवहार करता है और opposite अर्थ जोड़ा व्यवहार करता है. That is called the negative prefix. That means negative prefix means not. Suppose like if I add dis dislike, this is the negative prefix. This is the negative prefix. Yes, this is the negative prefix. Here like is the primary word. Like is the primary word, but this is the negative prefix. Similarly, which are the negative prefix? On, this, in, non, every, anti, de, etc. These are called negative prefixes. That means these negative prefixes are used before the primary word or in the meaning of opposite of or the meaning of not. Not orthore by opposite orthore, these words are used before the primary word. UN is used. Some example: believe. Believe is the primary word. Believe. If I use UN, believe is the primary word. It is the primary word, and UN is the prefix. Believe means believe. Your unbelief. Certain, uncertain. UN is used as the negative prefix of this primary word. Fair is the primary word, and our negative prefix on UN is used unfair. Happy, unhappy. Similarly, popular, unpopular. Lucky, unlucky. Sure, unsure. TD, untd. These are the primary word. This is the negative prefix. Primary word, negative prefix. Unsure means not sure. These are the negative prefix using UN. Similarly, if this is the negative prefix used before the word, primary word appear, agree, honest, like, trust. These are the negative prefixes. Similarly, appear, disappear, agree, disagree, honest, dishonest. Similarly, in is the negative prefix which is used before the competent, correct, valid, dependent. These are the negative prefixes. Similarly, non is the negative prefixes which is used before tense, stick, stop, fiction, smoker, that means smoke, non-smoke, stick, non-stick. These are the AB is the negative prefix which is used before normal or original, normal, abnormal, original, aboriginal, anti-social, clockwise, biotic. That means social, antisocial, clockwise, anti-clockwise, biotic, antibiotic. DE, similarly, DE, IM, this. These are the negative prefixes. Non-stick, stick, non-stick, stop, non-stop, fiction, non-fiction. These are the negative prefixes. Similarly, DE, activate, deactivate, code, decode, compose, decompose. These are the negative prefixes. Now, I give some questions about the grammar. Match the words in column A with negative prefix in column B. There are some primary words are given in column A and negative prefixes in column B. And children, you can tell me possible which primary word is which negative prefix is used before the which primary word. Possible, impossible. Clockwise, anti-clockwise. Normal, abnormal. Compose, decompose. TD, untd. Agree, disagree. These are the negative prefixes. Next, different sentences using word given. What, please, kind. What, my watch has been lost. That is this word. What, the dog watches my house at night. Please take your seat. Request, according to the request. Please, your sweet voice can please everybody. Kind, my brother is kind to the poor. और भाई poor बोलते बहुत दयालु होते हैं. Kind, there are different kinds of flowers in my garden. Fill in the blank is the suitable words given in bracket. Pilane poor. It is same word like you. Which word is used? in this packet. Please take your dash. S-E-S-E. Do you dash something dash? Here, here. Do you hear something? H-E-R here. Here H-E-R here. H-E-R here. The dash of these graphs are sour. Test. T-S-T, T-E-S-T. T-S-T, test. The summer dash, the dash are very hot. The D-A-Y-S dash. These are the students. I give some homework and you will do it in your house. तुम तो पिलाने ऐसे करिबो करी तुम सार मन देखैबा ए होमवर्क दिया गला what are the advice that was given to the son-in-law? Why was the mother-in-law happy with her son-in-law? What did the son-in-law say when the rice pudding was served? What would you do if you were in starvation in whole night in your father-in-law's house? Was it the correct behavior of the son-in-law in his father-in-law's house? That's the homework. हमारे पिलाने को करी सार मन देखेबा, this is the homework given to you.